We are going to take you through Act 4, Scene 1, theme of religion, where Harvester says that I'll be crucified for the things Mayor Mosi tells me to do, but you know I have a Christian duty to obey my leader. That is theme of religion. Then, theme of blasphemy, page 115, where Harvester says, my wife, children, and I is fasting and praying. We trust God to get us out of this mess. I haven't known my God to fail the innocent. That is theme of blasphemy. Of abuse of office or misuse of power, where Jaden says, Mayor Mosi has now instructed lawyers acting for the municipal council to file cases against Honorable Ramdae, Honorable Seymour, Honorable Ten, and Honorable Basdeo. They want me to jail the quartet and soon as legally possible. That is theme of abuse of office or misuse of. We get theme of fear, where Harvester says the mayor will do anything to stop. The theme of fear, where Jaden says the mayor's demand puts me in a dilemma.
Does it really come out clear and clear? It's very wide though.
Page 116, we get theme of corruption, where Jaden says the problem is that I can't convict Mr. Basdeo and Honorable Ramdae. I got unwittingly entangled in the same affair for which Mayor Mosi wants me to put them in jail. It happened I was helping some friends in some court case. I made a ruling that clearly betrays my bias and as an interested party. That is theme of corruption. We also get another theme of corruption, where Jaden says, you see, a judge does not operate in a vacuum. The ethos prevailing in society influence his thinking and action. His rulings are in many respects a reflection of prevailing culture in society. And 17, my brother, the issue of rodents has tormented me beyond measure. I have been seeing rats and other rodents running all over the place even when my eyes are wide open. 117, we get theme of fear, where Jaden says the inspector of police who owns this place was here. I now strongly suspect his part on my food somewhere in the kitchen.
You're saying fear?
Yes.
That one is more suspicion than fear. Don't you think so? Suspicion, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because actually fear comes out. Already the worst has happened. He has ulcers and he can actually feel the worsening situation. But the fact that he suspects someone to have poison, that is a suspicion.
Where Jaden says, Mosi is not clean and neither are the rest. Why don't we come together and talk to one another? You see, it will not be the interest of anyone if this matter escalates beyond here. But if we sit down and talk, all of us will be safe. An amicable solution will result to the greatest happiness for the greatest number. That is the theme of greed or egocentrism.
Yeah, maybe egocentrism or selfishness. And also and also impunity, because these people are trying to cover up for their wrongs.
I'm going to take you through Act 4, Scene 1, styles. So on the stage direction you can see vivid description, where Justice Jaden is vividly described as he had seated pensively, eyes peering above the rim of his eyeglasses and hands fiddling with his pen. Then, when Jaden removes his glasses and dusts them with his handkerchief, the rhetorical question, where Jaden says, but are you not a born-again Christian? On page 115, you can see satire when Harvester says, "Honestly, I never set out to do any wrong myself. I have never stolen or intentionally done anything wrong. I'll be crucified for the things Mayor Mosi tells me to do. But you know, I have a Christian duty to obey my leader. But don't worry about me, just tell me about yourself. My whole family, my wife, children and I is suffering and praying. We trust God to get us out of this mess. I haven't known my God to fail the innocent." That page, vivid description where Jaden is vividly described when he's sitting down opposite to Mr. Harvester. He adjusts his eyeglasses and peers at Mr. Harvester from above the rim of the glasses.
There is something there. Can you actually see? Anyone who sees Ivan to explain on that page? Ivan. Yes.
Where Harvester said it's difficult to say it. He said that it was not a situation to steal, but
Yeah, when you are being manipulated and used, you can actually walk out. Why should you remain there and then begin saying you did not aim to do it and you are religious and all that? Then at that point where Jaden also says, Mayor Mosi has now instructed lawyers acting for the municipal council to file cases against Honorable Ramdai. Now in the entire text, not in an excerpt, if asked elsewhere, you can actually have this as ironical. We know Mayor Mosi as a very corrupt individual, and it is questionable for him to raise cases against other people. Yet, he himself is very corrupt.
On page 116, you can see irony, where Jaden says, "The problem is that I can't convict Mr. Basdeo and Honorable Ramdai. I got unwittingly entangled to the same affair of which Mayor Mosi wants me to put them in jail. It happened, I was helping some friends in some court case. I made a ruling and clearly betrays my base as the interested party. Was still these friends at the same point paid me by giving me shares of the company that the municipal council was suing." At a prayer, where the steady direction, there down fiddling with his pen, fiddling.
Even dragged, Jaden, even then, my name will be dragged into the case. It's just sound.
On page 170, collapses on our prayer.
Did you see approve of somewhere, page 116?
My brother is heir to human. That's
There
how
is human approval.
John 17, you can see hyperbole. There on the top of the page. My brother, the issue of rodents has tormented me beyond measure. I have been seeing rats and other rodents running all over the place, even when my eyes are wide open. Even now, my brother, lately, I am even catching the smell of sewer rats, and it's awful. It's making me to throw up, and my stomach is beginning to ache. You know I have ulcers. Oh.
What about that?
Video from 118, you can see irony, where Jaden says, the principle of the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. It means that when confronted with this situation where a decision must be made, always make a decision that will result to the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. When Jaden says, "Look, Mayor Mosi is up in arms. Honorable Basdeo and all the rest of them are also up in arms. Mayor Mosi is not clean and neither are the rest. Why don't we come together and talk to one another? Justice Garden pushes then continues. You see, it will not be an interest for anyone if this matter escalates beyond here. But if we sit down and talk, all of us will be saved. An amicable solution will result to a greatest happiness of the greatest number. But do you see what I mean? If we fight, we all lose. If we come together, we win together. I request that you reach out to them with this idea because I know you can.
Country to have leaders who think they can come together to solve and cover up for their mistakes. When a country is suffering, the rest of citizens and municipality are suffering, development is stagnated, and the law is turned into lawlessness.
On the same statement, you can see rhetorical question where Jaden said, why don't we come together and talk to one another? Then in page 119, we didn't find any stuff.
Is this a proverb? I thought so. If we come together, we win together. I think they are using that aspect of unity to explain. And sometimes they are, in some societies, they create a saying as such. Let's appreciate them.
So, we are going to take you through a course in 1 on character and characterization. On page 115, we see Harvester as Mayu, where he says, honestly, I never set out to do anything wrong myself. I have never stolen or intentionally done anything wrong. I'll be crucified for the things Mayor Mosi tells me to do. But you know, I have a Christian duty to obey my leader. But don't worry about me. Just tell me about yourself. My whole family, my wife, children, and I is fasting and praying. We trust God to get us out of this mess. I haven't known my God to fail the innocent. Naive.
Yeah. But it will still depict them as what? Because not all of them will do. So it will depict them as religious. So you should talk about religious because Harvester in the entire book is not seeing him as less informed. So we cannot give him naive. Yeah. And then he's hopeful, because at some point he's saying you trust that everything will come out.
On page 116, we see Justice Garden as Chicharas. First conversation.
Someone with the interface, I think you want to touch it.
You see, he betrays the citizen of Maracas by ruling the company's case in their favor. So defensive, the last conversation on page 116, it says that my brother, to err is human. You see, a judge doesn't not operate in a vacuum. The ethos prevailing in society influence his things and actions. Still, we see Garden as suspicious, where he says, I had dinner here last night. I took Trinidadian and Crab and Kalalo. The inspector of police who owns this place was here. I now strongly suspect he's part of my food somewhere in the kitchen. On page 118, we see Harvester as reliable, where Garden tells him that I requested that you reach out to them with this idea because I know you can. we see he is entrusted with the role of collaborating with the opposition and the ruling of the municipal. On page 118, we see he is philosophical, where he says the principle of the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. It means that when confronted with a situation where a decision must be made, always make the decision that will result in the greatest happiness for the greatest number of the people.
Okay, we can also see he's talking about the great people. He's referring to the few leaders. So egocentrism and the selfishness comes, or selfishness comes out.